We are back in the Explorer's Den with a familiar face, but a new role. The Bonnies hired Woj last offseason, but we have with us tonight Safet, the Alley Cat. Safet, how did you get that nickname, number one, brother? I just saw Coach tweeted that about you. And then, two, tell us about how you got this new position, brother.
First of all, Bron and Richie, thanks for having me on. Love you guys. You guys are LaSalle through and through. Without you guys, the place doesn't bleed blue and gold. Yeah, the nickname Alley Cat. So I worked for Coach Nichols about 4 or 5 years ago, and he, being from Trenton, and being able to blend in different rooms, always being on the move. I never sat in one place. I'd be on the phone outside of the Dedman Center, which was the gym, office, weight room of where we worked at in Radford, and I didn't have any cell phone service because I was a guy with T-Mobile down in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, and I could only do FaceTime audio. So there's an alley outside that he'd see me in, always on the phone, and he just ran with it from there. So yeah, it's an interesting story. And how did I get the position? So worked for Coach 4 or 5 years ago. He hired me as his director of player development. I was making 10 grand a year for him, and then on the side, I was cleaning toilets, working at a senior community home. Was coaching at Rider University at the time. Was really comfortable. Rider was down the street, but I wanted to get out, expand my network, and Coach Nichols got the job at Radford, and he had a pedigree, and a lot of people raved about him. So I wanted an opportunity to go work for him, and it's crazy how this thing works. He pushes me to go to LaSalle because there's a better opportunity going to work for Hall of Fame coach and legend and Coach Dunphy. And it was a better situation for my family and I. And, Coach retires. Coach Nichols gets involved with the job. He gets it. And, he ended up hiring me. So it was kind of a little bit of a crazy story, but, it's kind of how it all went down.
No, that's good stuff, and certainly, there's good things happening for you, and I think your future's bright. Hang on to that story because that's an inspiring story that one day you're going to be able to share with a lot more people than just us, and it's something that you're going to end up being very proud of where you came from and where you end up. But so we had the pleasure of having Darius Nichols on the Den, and can you explain a little bit about your relationship with Darius, and not only him but the staff he's assembled?
Yeah, I'll say this first and foremost. Coach is family to me. When I worked for him at Radford and I left, we spoke every single day. For me, that just showed his character, how genuine he is. And he called me every day, not asking for anything, just checking in. Hey, how are you doing? How's your family doing? How's the new job? Called me literally every day, whether it was 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 45. He had me in his family's home. I'm from, not to jump all over the place, I'm from Trenton, New Jersey, inner city kid. Parents immigrated here, right? So all I knew growing up was the Northeast. He jokingly called me Alley Cat and the Stoop Kid because I never left the stoop until I went to go work for him at Radford as an adult. And for me, going down there was a culture shock. I mean, there was a freight train that ran in the middle of a small town. Never seen anything like that. We'd hear the freight train at night. Um, you know, People talk different, look different. Strong accents down there, just totally different place than Philadelphia, Jersey, New York City. And he welcomed me home. His brother was on the staff too. They welcomed me, made me feel like I was at home. His parents did the same thing. His parents lived down the street from the university. We'd go there and have a barbecue every other weekend, and they welcomed me, made me felt like I was at home. Coach is a genuine guy, and in this business, it's a very volatile business. It's very transactional. It's very business-like, and he's the same person no matter what. Win, loss, there's no draws in this game, but he's the same guy, and I think that's what makes him very successful. And he's an elite basketball coach. He's a rising star. The thing that's unique about him is I think he's 38, 39 years old, and he's not too old and not too young. He's been in this for a while. Elite pedigree as a player, played for John Beeline and Bob Huggins, who are two Hall of Fame coaches in Springfield. And they're the polar opposites of each other. So he's had a tremendous journey, and he's been around elite people. And he always told me this. He said, "Hey, you win with the people you surround yourself with." And I think that just comes from his experience and his career. In regards to the staff, our head coach is obviously Coach Darius Nichols. Our associate head coach is Shane Nichols. Um, it's an easy sell when I talk to recruits about Shane and Darius because they've never lost as a player or coach anywhere they've been. Shane was with Coach at Radford. Before that, was at Murray State for 6 years. They were one of the best mid-major programs in the country. Shane coached and developed John Morant alongside a lot of other guys. They won big there. He was at Hofstra, worked for Coach Joe Mihalik, which is, full circle deal. They won big time at Hofstra. He was at Niagara with Coach Mihalik. They won big time at Niagara. And then he started off working for Mike Young, who's the head coach of Virginia Tech, who at that time was the head coach at Wofford. And Coach Young won big at Wofford. So two guys that have tremendous pedigree as both players and coaches. Colin Curtin's on our staff, too, as an assistant coach. He was at Hofstra for 12 years, and he was at Niagara prior. Thing about Colin that people don't know is he's elite. He's a grinder. He's got great relationships. He was the head coach in TBT, had an elite basketball team. Great coach, great person. He gets after it. He could have stayed at Hofstra his whole career, but because of his belief in Coach Nichols, he decided to leave Hofstra to come here, take a chance on us at LaSalle. And he's bought in. He's great. He's helping us tremendously in recruiting. He's pounding the pavement. He's great with the guys. And then James Herring, who I worked with, his name's Sweat. That's his nickname. He was at West Virginia with Darius. Oh, yeah. He was at West Virginia with Darius years ago. That's the connection between those two. And he was with Darius as an assistant coach at Radford for 4 years. Has been some places as well: Dayton, Illinois, Jacksonville State, West Virginia. He's seen a lot of winning. I'm lucky and fortunate enough to be on the staff. Coach hired me as an assistant coach and general manager. Have some prior experience here at LaSalle, being with Coach Dumpf and learning under him, know the place a little bit. We kept Mike Doyle, who's our director of basketball operations. Keeping him was vital because Mike knows the place. He's been here under 3 different head coaches. He knows how LaSalle works in and out. And
he knows our sizes for gear. Shortly, when the time comes to order sweatsuits and sneakers.
That's done. That's done. That's already in place. We got shelves with your guys' names on. But no, Mike. In all seriousness, Mike was huge to keep. Just for Coach, this is all new to him. Just making it easy for him. He doesn't have to think. Mike's doing a great job of helping Coach with the transition. We kept your guys' guy, Coach Joe Mihalik. He's still on the staff here. He's here every day with us, getting after it. He's helping us in recruiting as well, and connecting the dots with a lot of alumni, bridging the gap for Coach, which is huge. Our 2 graduate assistants, Nick Lawrenson and Brody Dempsey, here. They're grinders, rising stars in the business. So we got a great group. All of us from top to bottom. We're young, we grind, we love this. This is all we do, all we know. The one thing I'll say before you guys go on to the next thing, the one thing we're doing, and I want this to be known, is anyone that's a LaSalle fan, supporter, wants to be a part of our program, we're welcoming you to come in the doors at any given point in time. Come in the office, come hang out with us, come to workouts, come hang out with us. This isn't the principal's office. It's an open door. We're making this a family environment. We can't do this alone. We got to do this together. That's how we're going to win. That's how we're going to flip this thing very quickly. So just want that to be known as well in regards to the staff.
That's tremendous. Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's tremendous. And, for our listeners, the loyal Explorer fans, the information you gave us about, his background, your background, and then the staff, I think they'll really appreciate. But we've all been waiting to get to this, the excitement of talking about the portal and then our roster that's over, almost half filled, I guess. So the first question, Dr. Allen said at the press conference that he wants dudes. He said it 3 times. I want to watch dudes out there. Rock and I want to watch dudes. So chop it up for us, Safet. When you go into the portal, how do you go about recruiting dudes at LaSalle?
Yeah, so it's much different than it was for Coach Dumpf because no matter who's the head coach, you got to recruit to the personality of your boss. As you know, as assistants, we like guys for our own reasons, but you gotta align players with the vision of your head coach. And like Coach said in a press conference, VCU and Dayton will 100% have a better seven than us, but our 12 will be better in year seven. We're going to wear you down. We're going to play hard. We're going to get after it. We're looking for tough dudes. You can't have one feather of softness in your bone and body. Coach as a player was tough as nails. His teammates were tough as nails. That's his identity. That's how he's been as a coach. If you look at his teams at Radford, he had $30,000 in NIL to build a competitive basketball team in a league where certain schools had $1 million plus. And his philosophy was, we're going to get tough guys that other schools may not want, and we're going to play hard. We're going to get after it. We're going to offensive rebound. We're going to get to the free throw line. We're going to punk you. We're going to wear you down. We're going to guard you. We're going to get after it. And that's the same style we're going to bring to LaSalle. Our neighborhood where LaSalle is going to match our basketball program. So everyone we're signing, everyone we're recruiting, the first trait is toughness. You got to, you have to find, the first question is he good enough? And does he fit what we want to do? Tough guys that love basketball, that want to get after it, because that's who we are at LaSalle. We want people that want to be here. We don't want to recruit kids that feel like we're doing them a favor.
Can you talk a little bit about Mac Etienne and Eric Acker? They're the only two returning players. Last year, you got them in the portal. They're the only two returning players at the moment. Can you talk a little bit about those two players?
Absolutely. I've known Mac personally since he was 15 years old. We tried to recruit him really hard when he left a couple years back from UCLA. We couldn't get him. He goes to DePaul, does a workout, and we got fortunate enough with timing to get him. Mac had a great year. Towards the second half of the season, he really came along. I think for Mac's best interest, and I told him this when we got the job, and I knew I was coming back. I said, Mac, listen, you were at UCLA, you played on the Final Four team, right? You've been at the highest level. You were at DePaul, and you've seen what that looked like. You're finally happy. He really loves LaSalle, and he said that this has been his best stop. And I said, listen, Mac, if you go jump in the portal, you're leaping again. I said, the best thing for you, and not trying to sound biased or selfish, is for you to stay because you have a home. 20 years from now, you want to be able to come back here and say you did it. If you go in the portal, it's difficult to do that. You're here for 10 months. He had a great conversation with Coach Nichols. Coach Nichols laid out his vision for him. And, he told us he was coming back. We're super excited. We're pushing him to another level in workouts. We're getting after it. The biggest thing we're working on with him is his motor, maxing out his motor, playing hard, getting after it. He's a skilled big. He's shown the ability. He can shoot the basketball. We've been working on a lot of perimeter shooting threes, shooting off the catch, off the bounce, getting him the offensive rebound every time with two hands. We're working on a lot of great things with him, and we're super excited. Eric Acker is an interesting one, right? LIU, one of the youngest Division I basketball player, averages 12, 13 a game, couple assists, couple rebounds. He comes here, he's ineligible for a semester. I thought that semester of him being ineligible threw him off the rockers. He came in the middle of the season, scored 18 against Dayton, had a couple assists, couple rebounds, showed a lot of promise. I had guys after that game, because I was out of the business at the time and I left LaSalle, texting me thinking he was going to be a high major basketball player after the North Carolina Dayton game. Things drop off for him. He fights adversity, goes through struggles. He's young, right? He's got a lot of room for growth, but he's talented, great kid, great smile, loves basketball, is wired to score. Defensively, he's got to work on some things. We're really, really focused on strengthening the things he's, really, really good at and sharpening those things, but also improving his weaknesses. Justin Ray, our strength and conditioning coach, has got him on a serious weight training program and meal prep program as well. So super excited to see his progress from now throughout the summer. And he's already been better. We've been getting after it with him as well in workouts, and he's been great.
Oh, that's great. I would just add, Braun, real quickly that, Mac really came on strong, like you said. I was really happy. I really enjoyed watching his success late in the year. He really seems to be a great teammate. I've called him all year long. He's the most unselfish player on the court. He's always looking for his teammates. He's not afraid to do the dirty work in there. And it was just a pleasure to watch him grow as a person, and I'm really glad he's back. And on the other hand, Eric was the kind of player that he showed tremendous. Went to a few practices last year, and I said, boy, by the end of the year, he might be our best offensive player. Turns out I wasn't right. But what I did notice about him is I thought that he took, and it might be because of his youth, that he seemed like he was very hard on himself. And when he didn't play well, hung his head a little bit. And I think he just needs to mature a little bit. He has all the talent in the world to be a really good basketball player.
Absolutely. I agree, Rich. He's a high major talent, fighting adversity, developing a professional mentality of never getting too high or too low and staying even keeled is key for him. And he's been tremendous, and instilling confidence back in him, because he was really down on himself. And, for kids in this generation with social media and stuff, it's hard when you're not doing well because people are coming after you.
Yeah, it's something Richie and I talk about all the time, the mental component. And I don't think Richie's grandson, yeah, he talked about this summer, possibly getting him involved in some of the mental mindset of athletics, which I think's phenomenal.
Oh, that's great. No, 100%. It's really important. It is. It is. There's too much noise and distractions that occur, not only in this game, but in the phase of life with all the different outlets and, things that are out there. So I'm a big advocate for that stuff.
All right, brother. Although this is uncharted territory for two old explorers here, we're not used to this portal and NIL, and I'm committed, and often this year on trips we talked about, and recently we were with the guys at Train's place for the tournament games. We were talking outside, back in the day in the MAC, like Hurd was wondering, if he had a good game, like, how much he could get at Siena or Fairfield, or so we were talking about that. But tell us, brother. Let's go by player, and as you talk about each one, I'm going to flash a picture up with them that you guys posted. So Justin Archer's the first one.
Yeah, Justin Archer was with Coach from New Jersey, local kid. I think was top 50 in offensive rebounds and some other statistical categories. Had a hand infection this past year at Georgia State. His mother unfortunately passed away, so went through a lot. It was a tough year for him. But when he was at Radford, he was a pit bull. He was a dog. A little undersized, but don't let that fool you. He'll get after it. He'll go rebound. He did it all year against 7-footers, against 6'10", against 6'9". Can play to 4, can play to 5. Low maintenance guy, loves to win, is a winner. He's going to bring a lot to the table. And he knows Coach, right? He knows Coach, and he's a tremendous kid. Super excited about him.
So if they have nicknames, which I'm sure they do, give us each nickname so the fans can get used to that. Justin have a nickname?
We call him Arch.
Perfect.
Just call him Arch.
All right, second one, Jaden Marshall.
Jaden Marshall from Niagara, averaged about 10 points a game, shot 37% from 3. I used to coach in the MAC. Coach Mihalik was in the MAC. Colin Curtin coached in the MAC. Shane Nichols coached in the MAC. We recruited Corey McKeefen here from Ryder, who averaged 8 points a game in the MAC. The MAC's a great league, especially for guards. And I think if you have some success in the MAC, there's a direct translation to the Atlantic 10. Corey McKeefen averaged 8 a game at Ryder. He came to LaSalle, jumped up a couple levels, and doubled his average.
Thanks to you.
Thanks to Coach Dunphy and the rest of us, right? And you guys. We're all a part of this thing. But Jaden Marshall, talented, tough. I had an assistant in the MAC text me the other day about Jaden Marshall, said tremendous pickup, A10 toughness. So he fits us. He can make shots. He's got size. He'll defend. He'll get after it. Can do some things off the bounce. Great addition for us. Will help us immediately.
Love the Purple Eagles. Dimitri Gardner.
wired to score, coming from one of the best Division II programs in the country. Meach can go get you a bucket at any given point in time at all three levels, can shoot it off the bounce, off the catch, can take it to the rim, can get guys involved, all every inch of 6'4". Love him, talented. He had a lot going on in his recruitment process. Coach Shane Nichols and Coach Darius had some great relationships with him in the circle where there's a lot of mutual trust. We're excited about him as well, immediate impact guy.
I was texting Dr. G during the Final Four, ironically, not about hoops, but about fishing. And he said he loves that pickup by us. So Jerome Brewer Jr.
Jerome's a great kid, comes from a great family, local kid. He's Camden through and through. Went to Camden High School. Did a prep year at Sunrise Christian, one of the best prep schools in the country. Went to Texas A&M Commerce, averaged about 14 a game, some rebounds, some assists. If you look at his game log, he had 37 points against McNeese State, where he ended up transferring to the following year. And then if you look at his high major games against Kentucky, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, all scored double figures, had some rebounds, played against St. Joe's and beat St. Joe's when he was at Commerce. Love his talent, love his tenacity. Another tough kid. He's all of 6'9", can make shots. He's a mismatch nightmare. Super excited about him. We jokingly in the recruiting process called it the Camden Bridge to North Philadelphia. So if you guys, I'm sure you guys know, and the LaSalle fans as well, Camden is a huge basketball community, and they're very excited about coming over to Glacier and packing it out. So we're excited about having a local kid that's going to help us win a lot of games and build that bridge over to North Philadelphia.
Just love it, man. Dr. Allen, another dude we can look forward to watching.
Absolutely.
Ashton Walker.
Wow. Yeah, you know what's funny? I tell this story all the time. He's committed to Radford with coach. They had some great relationships with his AAU program, Boo Williams. I was recruiting last year at Peach Jam, big-time Nike tournament in July, and a couple agents had told me I was on like court, 6, and he was playing on court 1, and they were bugging me saying, hey, you need to recruit Ashton Walker to LaSalle. He's an Atlantic 10 player. He's got Atlantic 10 offers already, 6'4" point guard. And I knew that Radford was in deep on him, and I knew we had no shot because their relationships were going to overpower us, even though we were in a higher level league. It's just funny, full circle, how this goes. Darius gets the job here, flips Ashton from Radford to LaSalle. We're excited about him. He's young. He's a freshman, talented, great kid, but he's tough as nails too. So he fits the mold, and I think Explorer fans will be excited about him in the future.
Fits the mold. And then the last two who came from Radford as well, Joshua and Truth Harris.
Truth Harris, great leader, tremendous kid, shot the ball from 3 at an extremely high level. Experienced guy, has been at different programs at the JUCO and Division I level, sort of a local kid from Mount Vernon, New York. Cultural guy, immediate impact guy. He knows coach, like the back of his hand. Knows what winning looks like. We're super excited about him. He can do some different things, on and off the ball. Defensively, he's got some length, plays hard, is really, really quick and agile. And Josiah Harris is a pit bull. One of the better offensive rebounders in the country. If you noticed, between him and Arch, that's a trend in what coach likes to do. He likes to get after it and go after the ball with 2 hands, offensive rebound and ones, putbacks. One thing about Coach Nichols and his teams is he's going to rebound, and Josiah's a big-time player, local kid from Delaware. Super excited about him. And between him, Truth Harris, and Archer, love that we have 3 guys, especially in this day and age, that know coach and know what he's about and can help bring our locker room together. Especially with how high we want to hold the standard.
Safet, can you just talk for a moment about how can the LaSalle community get involved with the NIL right now being so important to LaSalle? How can the LaSalle community help and contribute to that push?
Absolutely. Listen, we can only do this thing together. It's not just the coaches. It's not just the fans. It's not just the supporters. It's all of us. And that's why we're encouraging people to come in, meet with us face to face, and get to know us. Because I think there's a lot of people that want to be a part of this, and they feel like, LaSalle has maybe kept them at a distance. We're welcoming everyone and anyone to come in the doors and spend time with us, whether it's practice, games, hanging out with us in the office. Quick, cool story. The Gola boys and Tom Gola 2.0 put together a mini NIL campaign.
Love it.
And the support has been outrageous. We've gotten at least $3,000 extra that we didn't have before in donations, not including the 1,000 that they're going to be willing to match. And there's a guy by the name of Rick Sirianni, a graduating class of 2001. He commented on the post that they put on Twitter and said, "This is awesome. Just donated $1,000." So Coach Nichols saw it. I saw it. We both reached out to him, invited him to campus.
That's
literally
awesome.
Today.
That's awesome.
Literally today. Rick came with his son. We toured him around. We sat down. We spoke about LaSalle, the vision, whole 9 yards. Just gave him access to us, and it made his day. And he gave us a story. He said, "Listen, I've donated to LaSalle in the past. Didn't really communicate with anyone. Just kind of sent money, and that was it." And he was so excited, so juiced up, so amped up just to feel a part. And that's how we want to treat everyone. It's not just because you donate money. It's because you love LaSalle, and anyone that loves LaSalle is welcomed around. The best way to help us in regards to NIL, there's a one-time contribution link. It's on Twitter. It's all over the place. If someone needs to find it, Bron and Richie, you guys have it.
Yeah,
Feel
we'll
free
post it.
Or have anyone reach out to me. You can email me, Kastrat, Kastrat @lasalle.edu. You can reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram. I'll send the link over to you, and things of that nature, and come around. We're going to do this thing together. We're going to be aggressive. And the only way we can win is if people are invested on, the NIL landscape, because this is what it is. The business has changed so much, even just within 4 years. You gotta have money to build a basketball program. And if you want to be really good, you got to pay players. And McNeese State, it's funny because we got a transfer from McNeese State. McNeese State didn't have a winning tradition, but they decided to go hire a coach and then decided to put money behind that coach. And all the fans and supporters came together because they wanted to win. And that's a huge reason why they went to the NCAA tournament. They had success. This ain't the same old LaSalle. We're going to win. We're going to do this the right way, but we can't do it alone. We need to do it together. And all the supporters that want us to win and do well, let's do it. Come on board. Come hang out with us. Come spend time with us. If you have questions, ask. We're not afraid to answer any question. Doesn't matter how crazy or how normal of a question it is. We just want, for everyone to be happy and for us to win.
Well, that's tremendous. Coach talked about, you can't, it's not good enough to preach family. You have to feel it, when everything you just alluded to speaks to that. So, Rock, do you have any other questions or anything you want to say to Safet?
Yeah, no other questions. Just a comment. I would say it's a two-way street, Safet. We're here for you. Anything that, you need or your staff needs that we can possibly help in doing, Bron and I are more than happy to help. And, if you need us to get involved in fundraising or whatever, we're happy to do that as well.
Absolutely. Let's do it. We do, fellas. We need all the help we can get from anyone and everyone. As you guys know, we are where we're at, and we're proud of it, and we know who we are, but we want to be better. And I think every day, as long as we have that mentality and we do it together, we can do amazing things here. And I think I'll say this, and then I got to jump because we have a call with a recruit. We're going to win, and we're going to do this the right way. I'm going to win big. And we're going to do this, and we're going to win because we're doing it together, and we're going to make everyone proud. We want to pack Glazier out, and we're super excited about this season. I think everyone will be excited about the product we put out there on the floor.
Well, you know how I feel about you, brother. One of my biggest pleasures was coming to the games, talking to you before the game. You would send us the scouting report for this. And we love you. We as soon as we found out there was a chance, we were texting you from DC, and you're back. J Ray's back. We'll have him on shortly, and we're jacked up, brother. So get that recruit, and you and the staff just keep crushing it, brother.
Yeah, we'll
Love you guys.
soon.
Love
We'll
you
see
guys.
you.
You guys, listen, you guys are LaSalle through and through. Keep this thing going, because without you guys, there isn't no LaSalle. So love you guys. You guys are brothers to me, family, and excited to see you guys soon. Appreciate you guys.
See you,
Thank
brother.
you. See you soon.
See you.